and welcome everybody. Come on in and have a seat at the bar. I'm your Photo Happy Hour bartender, Michael Mowbray, and today I am serving up a summer cocktail of sex in the driveway.
Windex.
Yeah, or Windex.
Windex.
Actually, this isn't sex in the driveway. I took a shortcut. This is like sex on the sidewalk. Anyway, joining me today are my fellow bartenders, Dan Freevault and Carl Kaler. Say hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
That's quite an opening.
Hello.
Yeah. That's what it's called. That was what the recipe's called. I'll give the recipe later. So what are you guys drinking?
I have
Wine. Oh, I'm sorry.
whiskey.
Wine. There. What the? We switched.
Yes. Yeah. I have a square ice cube, not the square granite, but a square ice cube. So this is
Well, there you go.
Woodford Reserve Double Oaked from Costco.
Double oaked.
Fancy.
Interesting.
Fancy.
Very fancy.
Yeah, it's good. It's caramel.
So in case you're joining us for the first time, we are three professional photographers who have been around for a while. And we like to get together and have some drinks and talk about photography. And the more we drink, the more we think we know. Well, actually we know a fair amount, so we just spew the knowledge. So hopefully we lay down some knowledge for you today. I do want to say that the Photo Happy Hour is sponsored in part by Red Curl Creative, copywriting services for photographers and wedding professionals alike. Kim from Red Curl Creative speaks your language. So keep listening as we'll have a special offer when? Somewhere totally random or right now. The special offer is
Which will it be?
save
Which will it be?
$97. What's what?
Which will
Save-
it be? No.
It'll be now.
Oh,
Save
okay.
$97 on the Write Better Words course from Red Curl Creative, and that's using code Happy Hour when you check out at writebetterwords.com or redcurlcreative.com. Either place, save $97. All right, got that out of the way. Otherwise, we
Nice.
usually forget to do that.
Now everyone can just tune out. Go to the next episode.
Exactly.
Carry
So
on.
They
today-
don't care about us. They just want the gooder words. That's all.
The gooder words.
Yes.
We have
Weller.
a topic most of the time, and today's topic is how do you sell without selling? What are some of the little things that we can do? Because a lot of us, one of the common things that I hear from photographers is they don't like selling. I don't like, I can sell, but I don't like selling, you know? So what are some of the things that we can do, the little things throughout the entire process that we can do to kind of sell ourselves, sell products, pre-sell people on different things? So we're going to throw some ideas out at you and see if there's something that maybe you can adopt in your own business. So what are some things that you guys do?
I hold people at gunpoint. I don't know. Bribes always work. No, I'm just kidding. There's so much, and but you are always selling yourself, and you're always selling your business, and you kind of think about it from within the community all the way into your sales room, and everything in between is you're selling your product. But the closer you get to your sales room, the more you're like reeling it in my opinion. So in my opinion, even when we're in the community, if you're volunteering with something, if you're in the Lions Club or the Chamber or even at the Friday night football game or the volleyball game at your local high school, you are selling you. So the way you act, the way you support the people around you and the community around you builds trust, and trust builds sales. And so he's planting seeds like, wearing your business logo, maybe a shirt or a jacket or a hat or whatever, can help out quite a bit. Oh, like that. The MoLight, for those of you that are watching the
MoLight.
video portion of this. I just have rum on mine. It just says rum right there.
Rum.
I have American Eagle, so I'm totally
Priorities,
you might not
guys.
even be,
Priorities.
You might not even be able to
see,
see me.
Gander Mountain. Here we go.
Yeah.
We wear it for everybody else. I mean, we wear the shirts that say Nike and Abercrombie and all that kind of stuff. Why are we selling for them? Sell for you. Why not?
There have been times I've been
that's for sure.
at least 4 logos deep, like in the winter, where I'm like wearing, I've got a winter coat that
Layers.
says MoLight, and I've got a fleece vest that says MoLight, and then I've got a shirt that says MoLight, and then I got a T-shirt that says MoLight. 4 layers. So as you peel them off, more MoLight.
Just like Superman.
Exactly.
MoLight. MoLight.
Got it. Well,
Got
you know, they say
Got
you got to hit some people like, what, 3 to 7 times before they figure it out. So if you have like 4 layers of clothing, wait a minute, let's not get into that. 'Cause
Yeah.
you mean like shirt, vest, jacket,
yeah.
hat, right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
right.
Coat, vest, shirt, T-shirt. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
So tagging into what you were saying before we went off on a tangent.
Yeah, it happens.
People have to remember that when we talk about branding or people talk about branding, your brand is everything about you and your business. So in our business, we're our brand. You know, you got the business name, you got the logo and all that stuff, but every interaction that you have with either your current clientele or potential clientele either adds to or detracts from your brand image. There is no such thing as a neutral contact with your brand. So either you're putting out positive vibes and building your brand image, or you're potentially harming your brand. So some of the things like Carl was talking about, you know, visually tying everything together. You know, we were joking before we got on the air that, Carl, that, you know, blue is a big part of your brand. So like it's even part of the chair that you're sitting in. I do the same thing. The brand for my studio, which is Beautiful Portraits, it's black and kind of a Halloween-ish orange. What color are the walls behind me?
There you go.
They're
Purple.
kind of that.
No.
Forgot. You're
Damn,
colorblind.
Colorblind.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but you
No,
have to be careful too, not to have it backfire on you. For example, okay, vehicle signs, yes or no? Me, no, because we are Iron Mountain, where I live right now, is the worst driving per capita in the country. It's something to be proud of. It's just they're not good drivers, and I know darn well I'm going to end up like flipping somebody off, and I don't want my name associated with it.
Right.
So
right.
I
want
was
to drive
gonna,
like an
I was
asshole.
gonna, I was gonna mention that. I was like, you know, if you have road rage, maybe don't have your logo on the side of your
Have your
vehicle.
logo on
or, or if you, I've also heard in higher populated areas or areas where higher crime is, if you put, you know, photography, you might be advertising like, hey, I have about 10
Come
grand of
steal
equipment
stuff.
here. Come break my window and steal it, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, some
So what
insurance
you do-
agents or adjusters ask if you had your name
Oh.
or your logo.
Oh,
or
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
it is saying, hey, break into here. You know?
And
It's like
some
putting mobile
companies-
jewelers on the back, you know?
Yeah.
Diamonds on the go.
Diamonds on board.
Diamonds on board. There you go. Well, yeah.
You had something. You had something. You were like
I was
I
going to
know, I
segue.
was-
I was going to. I my list of things I was going to segue, but I'm like nothing segues into that. So I was just going to. I have a list of things too. You know, when Carl brought up this theme, I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm going to say, but there is a lot of things, you know, that we do, branding or subliminal, and or just having a system. If you're not good with sales, either hire someone to do sales for you. You can be the foo-foo artist, you know, but you need to make money. So hire for your weakness and have someone, you know, take that over, or have some sort of system. So I wasn't very good at sales, but I created a system, the Creative Collection system, to help me do the sales and to help me, you know, as artists, we want to give everything away, right? We build this relationship. Oh, you know, just take this. Oh, I'll throw in that, you know. And if you have packages, I found like someone's like, can I substitute? And I'm like, okay, yeah, just throw this and throw that in. And all of a sudden they left. I'm like, oh man, I didn't make out very well on that deal. So, you know, coming up with a Creative Collection where they can just add and build and there's no ceiling on what they're doing, that really helps me sell, and it leads them down a path. And if they don't want to do that Creative Collection, they want to just do a la carte, that's fine, but it's going to cost them more. So I still win, you know, in that aspect. And 99% of people do the Creative Collection because they realize they're actually saving money. So
Oh, sure.
the system is in place to do the sales for me, which is it's just a big relief as well. It's like, well, here's the next step, here's the next step, here's this, and there you go. So
We've talked about, making sure that you show what you want to sell. So, on your walls, show the size portrait that you want to sell. So if you're not wanting to sell 8x10s, by God, don't put 8x10s on your wall. Don't show any 8x10s anywhere. I don't have any 8x10s anywhere in my studio.
no,
It's like,
no.
how big's an 8x10? And people look around. It's like, well, it's about the size of a piece of paper.
Piece of paper, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, which kind
Or
of
I
diminishes
have-
the value of it too, which I
Yeah.
want to do.
Exactly. Or I have like all my pricing on an iPad. And there's sometimes they have that, and it's like it's the size of the iPad. Like, look at
That's a good call.
and they're holding on to it. It's like, see, it's meant to be viewed at that distance, not at a wall.
Right.
You know, you have a watch on your hand, it's small because you're viewing it close. You have a
Right.
clock on your wall, it's larger, right? Because you're looking at it from a distance. So people can make that association, and yeah. And another thing I need to do, which I've been saying, and I wrote a note here again, I have to do that, is not only show what you sell, but show products and show wall portraits, images on your website or on Instagram.
Yes.
Instead of just putting pretty pictures on Instagram, you're showing a wall with a couch with a cluster.
The collection, yes.
Or albums on a coffee table. Like, you're showing that on your website as well as on your social media. So you're telling people when they're looking for a photographer that you sell products. You just don't sell digital files. And that's one thing I keep saying I need to do. I have all the tools to show it.
Right,
I just need to get it up there, but I keep forgetting. So.
And let's tell people, including you, Dan, how easy it is to do. If you've got Pro Select where you've got room view, just do a screen capture. If you use Fundy, which has the same kind of thing, do a screen capture. If you don't have either one, if you've got an Adobe stock subscription, or even just want to buy the stock photo of a couch and a wall, you can take it into Photoshop and show. There's a lot of easy ways that you can put this together.
Or use White Houses. They have one on their own.
Yeah.
White
use White
Houses,
Houses,
Last year, your past clients, hey, can you send me images with a testimonial? Well, now you have,
All right.
Absolutely.
and link it to your
Put
your
that with the
Google,
testimony, yeah.
which we talked about a few episodes ago, didn't we?
That's true. Yeah,
Google
we did.
reviews.
We probably did.
Or
We
just
meant
show up
to.
at their house. Just show up at their house, go bing bong. Hey, Dan,
Well,
hi. I just
I've
want to
done
come in
that.
and can I shoot your walls? Because
Yes.
Actually,
I've
we
actually
do that
I've
too.
actually kind of done that, because one of the things I would do around Christmas time is hand deliver gifts, and I'd hand deliver those accordion books because they were a pain to sell, which is another thing you realize is don't show things that you don't want to sell.
Right.
So I had those for a while and realized they were a pain to design, so I started to give them as gifts, along with non-photography related gifts. But I would hand deliver them at Christmas time, and people would invite me, oh, come on in. And then it's like, oh, that wall looks, they would show me everything on display. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I take a picture with that? So I had it, because sometimes you ask for that stuff and we all know we don't get it. So
right.
if you're
You
right
hate
there,
to bug them about it. Yep.
yeah. So
And then last year with with shutdown and COVID and switching to doing Zoom IPSs, I took video of my samples on the wall, and panning and showing different groupings and sizes and things like that. So that's part of the pre-sell as well, is I put that on the site, links so people can go out and see what the products look like. I've got a preset video so people can see all this stuff, which is nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
So another thing that we do is, and we've talked about this before on this podcast, not this one, but one previous to this. The different clothing that they come in. What we ask people to come in. So like your seniors, I want them. I don't limit to 1 or 2 clothing. I want 8, 9, 10 outfits. We're probably going to use 8, but maybe 8 to 10, because I want a lot of varieties, because I want to sell albums and books. And so as part of the sales, if somebody comes in with 1 outfit or 2 outfits, I'm limiting what I can do in the future because we just don't have the products. We don't have the variety to build them. So working the opposite direction by having those, one, the guest that comes through the door is like, oh, cool, we get more options. Yeah, we want you to. But they also then like all of those. You know, they like more images, and then it automatically sways them into a book or album instead of just one cluster on the wall, and then they might just do that too. So that's when, you know, you become finer tuned as you get closer to your sales room, and you're already going to sell the book or album. It's because they have too much variety, and it's the only place for it. And then you, as not a salesperson, are going to say, well, that's great in the book. We would love that. It's a wonderful place to have on your coffee table so people can finger through it when your son or your daughter leaves for college. But you need something on the wall to bring up that conversation. And so now let's go through and find out which image is going to work for that, or images as a cluster, because we like to sell those too, would work out best. And so your clothing, just by having multiple sets of clothing that they come in, is really helping your sales later on without even saying it. So it's a subliminal kind of sales as well.
And pre-sell this stuff as you're shooting too. And I know all you guys do this, but I do it as well. So when you take a great shot, I just, you know, drop little things. Oh, this would be great on your wall. I think I got your wall portrait. Oh, this whole set, like these 6 images in a row we just shot, be perfect as a series in a book. You know, and you keep talking about this throughout the entire session itself. It's pre-selling mom and the senior on, you know, oh, there's images that are going to be great for this and that, and it's going to get them kind of buying into the idea of book or album and wall portraits.
And, yep, exactly.
When it comes to like things like, this is kind of nitpicky too, but I never say cluster. I always say collection or grouping.
Grouping.
Yeah, because cluster just is kind of a hard word, cluster, because you know what comes after cluster. Peanut.
Exactly. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Oh, say to flag it. Yeah.
But collection,
definitely.
Grouping, you know, those are some higher end words, nicer words, sound better, higher value.
So I'm going to throw something.
Oh, go ahead. Throw away. Pitch it in here.
I'm gonna pitch something out there that.
All right.
So I learned. I started doing sneak peeks several years ago, probably around 8-10 years ago, and it was a big. It still is a big thing. Like, do you do them? Do you not do them? Do you offer some sort of incentive to get one? All these different things. Anyways. What I found is I had to do it because I was starting over in the photography industry and I needed to get images out there as quick as possible. So what I started to do is 2 things. Is number one is try and create something. It was a lot of pressure because I'm like, it's one image. So what can this one image do that stand, you know, what's going to be my sneak peek image that's going to stand out and really have an impact. Number 2, like I probably would put an image that's more of a wide shot, a creative shot, something that, you know, they probably weren't, if they stole it or whatever, not a big deal because they probably weren't going to order it anyways. That was kind of the thought process. Now, what I learned through doing this through several years, and actually right away the first year, is a couple different things. One is they ended up loving the image because guess what? They trusted me, and they're like, there's something he must like about it. And you know, if you don't want to call it sneak peek, call it artist choice. Make it a foo-foo name if you want. And 2, because it was a wide shot and it was creative or whatever, they couldn't get like an 8x10 or something because they'd be too small in the image. So I was selling wall portraits of my sneak peek. You know, and even maybe if they didn't like it at first, but the social proof of everyone else liking it, and that I posted it and I liked it, all of a sudden their minds must have started telling them, you know what? There must be something to this image that is awesome, and I have to have it. So now, did I know this all going in? No, I just wanted to get imagery out. But in the long run, it helped me sell wall portraits, and it helped me create a demand for that image. So then I started getting a little cocky, like, oh, what can we do? Like, what's going to be the sneak peek? How crazy can I get and test this? But so if you're afraid to do sneak peeks, I tell you, man, they are my top selling images. Like, so it's kind of a subliminal marketing / sales tool that I thought I would drop that knowledge.
Well, and it's like in justification from their friends.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
when they're liking them, they're like,
proof.
oh, I guess it is good. You know, so
Yeah.
that can help.
And we know as well as anyone, it could be their friends are going to say every image that doesn't matter the image you put up, they're going to love, right?
Right.
Because they're looking at it from a different lens than we, look at ourselves through that lens. But yeah, if it can be, creative, and then that gets social, viral, which helps book for marketing. That's the reason why I did it, but it also helped sales and book other clients. So the buzz that it created, man, it's awesome. And now, like I said, if I do things where if they do a Google review or if they share my Instagram story of their session, that's how they earn the sneak peek, and everybody wants to earn that. So you give them a little incentive as well to help market for you. Because back in the day when I started 8-10 years ago, you'd throw it up on Facebook and you tag it and go on their feed and all their friends would see it. As we know now that they're not even on Facebook. So I do the sneak peek on Instagram, but then it's not going to show up on their wall. They have to share it in their story and things like that. And then that leads people to my Instagram account, leads them to my website, leads them to the booking process. So it's a little bit more disconnected than it used to be, but so that's why I have it as an incentive.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Makes sense. And as I was going to say too, is there are exceptions to every rule in this business, because there's no hard fast. Don't show sneak peeks because it's going to cut into your sales. It all depends on how you do it. It's the same thing. It's like, don't sell digitals, but yet we know people who sell digitals and make $5-6 grand. It's all
sale.
in how you structure it, and the system you have, and how you present it, and how you take everybody through all the steps, and how you incentivize it. And it depends on you too, whatever fits you. For you, it fit how you wanted to do business and what you needed to do, and it turned into a big benefit. Whereas for other people, it would probably rob into their sales, if they did it in a different way. Right. So you have to think of. And the bottom lines here with everything, if you've listened to this podcast long enough, you have to think things through. You have to create systems. Yes. You have to create processes and tweak as you go. And if you do that, then you'll create successful processes that are going to give you a win. They're going to give you happy endings. That's what.
So, your wall portrait, when you said, Michael was saying,
Sorry, I just had to. I'll cut that.
Yeah. When, Michael was mentioning before that, he says, oh, man, this is going to be a great wall portrait. Take it even a step further. Man, this one's going to be a great metal for your wall. Mm-hmm. This one's going to be a great canvas. This one's going to be a great foot wrap or whatever. Because you're throwing out not just that they're going to get a wall portrait, but now they might have to have 3, and you're already hinting at foreshadowing the different products that are available, even though they walk past them in your gallery to get into their dressing room and again into the camera room. But you're seeding that, you're planting that seed and trying to get them thinking about that right now.
What the options are.
So just talk.
This is going to be a great resin-coated print with linen texture.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be great on a photo rag. I've never said, this is going to make a great picture.
Well, this is going to be a great 5x7 for your wall.
No,
5x7.
Not once. Yeah.
Well, and I want to expand on what Michael said, because, we throw a lot of ideas here and things that have worked for us. And this is one type of learning environment, but it's a small piece of the pie. Same thing if you go on a Facebook group page and you're like, hey, blah, 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 ask a question. You're going to get a million different replies, and it's a small part of the whole process, which is why I have the SU Insiders membership, or that's why I have the Creative Collection course, like things that it's like, hey, here's all the steps, because in order for it to work properly, here's all the steps. If you're just getting a little bit here, a little bit there, and you may follow all my steps and they may not work as well, you're still going to have to tweak it. Well, you know, like, or we've all learned through going to spending tens of thousands of dollars on conferences and one-on-one mentoring and different things. And then, taking bits and pieces from all these things and then developing systems that work for us. And you have to kind of do the same thing. But if you're just trying to go on the cheap and get a quick answer here or there, you're most likely going to fail. Like, you kind of have to invest in a system, try that system, similar to a recipe. Like I heard,
right.
We all like to cook here, but I've heard this in the past, like when you see a recipe online, follow it exactly the first time, because that's how the chef intended it. And then tweak it after that. But first try it, because you might look at something and be like, why are they putting this in? But there's something with maybe the acid that brings out the heat or brings out the sweet, and that's what really makes it come together. But if you're like, I don't really like lime juice, why am I putting vinegar in this? Vinegar doesn't
put
make
Windex
sense.
with ice and drink it.
Yeah.
Well, when you said lime juice, that's actually, I changed the recipe of this from what I'm going to detail a little bit later. They had peach schnapps. I said, no, lime juice. That's why I swapped in. It's better.
Swapped in.
Little citrus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Citrus. Yeah.
Wow.
It keeps it lighter, too.
Too
Yeah.
cool.
Peach schnapps is going to keep it kind of, I don't know, it's going to add some heaviness. Schnappies.
So as people get closer to the sales room, I mean, because we're always selling. When we're photographing, we're dropping these words. We're keeping them excited, keeping the experience fun, capturing nice things, giving them a lot of variety. We've talked, all these things are things we've talked about in podcasts already, but now you got to reel it in when you get to the sales room without selling. So, how do you go about that? And in my case, I want, number one, to not deal with money until we're all done and ready to order. So, keeping people comfortable is a good way to sell. They love your images. You'll see they'll love your images a lot, but they like them less when it's time to pay for them. So get your narrowing down process. Do that first. Showing your images, showing the slideshow of your images. Make sure if you do it with music that it's licensed, that you have, it's legal for you to do that, or a copyright, that you're not breaking any copyrights, I guess. But show them the images first, and then narrow down first, and then tell them while you're narrowing down, we're trying to get you into a comfortable book or album, and I'm trying to help you. I'm helping people, because when you help people, when you're a helper, you're more trusted too. And I'm going to show you what I would do if this child was mine. If these images are of my child, this is what I would do. Now you make the final decision. But everything in my sales room is comfortable. It's warm carpet. It's warm colors. It smells good. Everything is neat. You got to keep things as comfortable and clutter-free as possible, so that you keep the comfort level of everybody at a level that's going to be sales worthy.
Well, you need to keep them in the emotional side of their brains.
Yeah.
As soon as you start to talk about numbers, it starts to become rational,
Money.
and you want to keep them out of the rational, as long as you possibly can.
It's sometimes not too comfortable, because sometimes I create a very comfortable environment, and you can't get them to leave, and it's like 2.5 hours. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point.
Clark or Rachel Martin, she always said that, like, everything's comfortable and had cookie smells and all this stuff, but she had wooden chairs and like bar stool height and a round table, and she sat in between the mom and the father, mom and dad, because they didn't want to get too comfortable. I have a couch, they're like sprawled out, like,
yeah. Me too.
She's like, no. So that's the one thing I didn't listen to Rachel. I still like the couch, but I do see her point of having kind of uncomfortable sales or chairs during sales so that they kind of like don't get too comfortable. It's like, okay, after like an hour, like this isn't very comfortable. Yeah, that's your cue to leave.
No, we gotta get done.
Yeah. See, I've heard that from Rachel too, but I've had the different experience where you can't see it's right on the other. I'm looking at right now is my leather couch that eats people because they just kind of swallows them up and they get comfortable and it's like, oh, well, how much is? Let's get one of those too. You know, we'll get one of. You know, it's kind of being comfortable at
that one.
The
the one over the corner. It amuses me. Bring it here.
That's right. We're gonna get dessert too. And on that note. Yeah. I was thinking about this when you were talking, Carl, when you were talking about pricing. How you present pricing is hugely important. When you present it and how you present it. And if you, I present mine like a menu. I have mine in a printed hardcover book.
Yep.
And my prices are small. It's psychological. But, you know, it's like 8 by 10s. And it's $95, you know, in red letters. It's like, no. It's difference between having a Denny's menu and a fine dining menu. You look at a fine dining menu, do they even show dollar signs in the fine dining menu?
God, no.
No.
Yeah, I don't have dollar signs.
Nope. You look through the wine list, 72. Duckhorn, 72. What's 72? Is that the year? Is that how much it is? Oh, that's how much it is. Oh.
His football jersey, just saying.
Yeah, that's right. And it's always small. It's like teeny tiny.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you aren't going to even see it.
Along with my
pricing.
on.
Hold on.
Yeah. My pricing menu as well has the type of the products that have the most profit are, again, if you're thinking rule of thirds and where your eye goes, or in design, you know, you want to have it in the upper 3/4 region. So that's where all my highest profitable items are, and they're a little bit larger. And the same thing with menus. If you watch, so I watch a lot of crazy shows and for marketing and business, but Bar Rescue, if you've ever watched John Taffer, he's like, he's kind of insane. Well, it's hyped up for camera, for not for camera, but
Hollywood, for
entertainment value. But he's got a lot of great information. And so, for instance, a bar that, you know, if they sell food and salty food, that's like deep fried food and stuff, you stay longer and you drink more and they make more money on the alcohol. And they have the highest profit items and the saltier items at that 3/4 length, and they're bolder and they're bigger, or they have a nice photo, because you sit down with your friends and you're talking or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, let's throw some onion rings on, you know, because it's right there. Say I've used those same principles when I've designed my pricing menu. It's like, hey, here's this album. Here's how you get the digital files. Here's how you do that. And so your eye kind of goes to those levels instinctively, naturally.
I don't know. I didn't hear anything after you said onion rings. I'm just thinking about onion rings now. Well, sorry.
You know, part of what this podcast is about is liquor, right? Go into a liquor store. Go into a larger liquor store. There's a thing called top shelf liquor. Where's the best liquor? Where's the most expensive? The highest profit liquor is where?
I love
top
shelf.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Fleischmann's vodka is where? It's on the floor.
As it should be.
It's on the floor. Or people pay extra for like end caps and displays so that it does, you know, stand out. Yeah, those things are all proven. Another great show, The Food That Built America. You want to hear some interesting things. Yeah, I think it was so Nathan's hot dogs. He's trying to sell these hot dogs, and people thought they weren't healthy. So what he did is he went to the local like school that was for doctors, training to become doctors, and said, if you come and eat at lunch, which you have to have your white coat on, I'll give you a free lunch. So all these pre-med students were coming to Nathan's buying hot dogs. So what do you think? Everyone's like, they must be healthy. Doctors are eating them. I'm like, great marketing stuff that these guys
4 out of 5 doctors agree.
Yes.
Subliminally selling. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You're selling without being without pressuring.
Crazy stuff, you know. Or we were watching the one the other night, and it was about Wrigley's gum. So Wrigley's became this, as we all know, national brand, Wrigley Field, like everything. But he started selling soap. And there was this other
which
company,
tastes
which
horrible.
we don't even...
It does.
Yeah, it's
that's why you needed the
good.
gum to get the soap taste out of your mouth. Yeah.
It was the soap.
Oh,
Soap
Ralphie.
poisoning.
Poisoning, yes.
I tell
But
you,
he
we
put this
shouldn't
other
have used
company-
Lifebuoy. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
that was a reference.
But there was
Hold
this
on a
other
minute.
gum company that invented gum and had the market share, but he put them out of business because he dumped so much into advertising and marketing. You know, same thing with Coke. Pepsi tastes better than Coke, but Coke had the brand awareness and the marketing forever. That
And the
just put 'em out of
cocaine to
business.
start off with, so
Well, yeah,
Well,
they
there's
got
that.
everyone addicted. Yeah,
get
there's
everybody
that.
hooked in. Yeah.
So that's my marketing tangent there.
Well, after
Everything
that
I
tangent,
learned is from TV,
from
reality shows.
cable television.
cable TV shows. Yeah.
Well, we're going to take on that note. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, we have to take a break?
No,
We-
and we're back.
And that's a wrap, folks. No.
Yeah. Well, actually, I mean, do we have parting shots here? What are your parting shots?
That's my parting shot. I mean, I can't get any better than that.
No.
Can't. I think that my best
What were we
parting
talking
shot
about?
is
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
What were we talking about? I still
Chewing
past
gum
onion
instead of
rings. I didn't
soap.
hear another word after
Onion
that,
rings.
but
Yeah.
onion
Gum and
rings.
onion rings.
Yeah. But no, I think like Michael and Dan were both saying, have a process. Come up with a process, a script, so to speak, that you follow, that you do. And once you do it over and over again, it's like muscle memory. You're going to fall into it. You're going to veer off a little bit here and there because you're going to come up with new products. You're going to find different things that work for you in your market, in your business, with your clientele. But follow that so that it doesn't feel like you're being forced to buy a car from a used car salesman. You're leading somebody to what you feel is best for them with your product. And when people are led by the artist, by the professional, by the person that knows, then they're going to be more comfortable, and I think your sales are going to go higher.
Well, my parting shot is, and something I meant to bring up earlier, is make sure you're engaging with, where's this, all five senses. So, when they come to my studio, I put up I actually have a little temporary sign that I go out, because I've got a residential studio. I go out and put it alongside the curb, and it's got it's like a whiteboard kind of thing, and I go in and I write their name on it. Parking reserved for Jenny. Boom. And I tell them when they show up, be sure to look for your special parking. And they see that, and like, oh, that's cool. So I've already engaged like a visual thing for them. And then when they walk into the studio, they see the vaulted ceiling. They're impressed by the size, because it is a residential studio. They're expecting like a small room or a closet because it's in a home. It's like, no, it's a big camera room with a vaulted ceiling up to 15 and a half feet and almost 2 stories worth of windows. Have, a scent thing plugged in, like a Glade plug-in scent, so they get hit with a good smell right away. Have some water, have some snacks, have some sodas, have Gatorades, whatever, so to engage, the sense of taste and have a little light music. And I always ask in the consultation what kind of music that they like, so I have that kind of music playing when they come in. So you're engaging all the different senses. You've got samples right there where mom's sitting during the session, so she can touch and feel, so you're engaging all the tactile senses. So find ways to engage all 5 senses, and make sure that you understand that every contact that you have with that customer either helps your brand or hurts your brand. So control the impact of every contact that you have, whether it's email, website, in person, during the session, all that stuff. Make sure that you're making good, positive contact every time and leaving them with a positive impression.
Well, and the thing is, even with that, I mean, think about it. Disney does the same thing. And every day, every aspect, every area of that park is doing that very same thing. But it's not about selling, more or less. Well, they kind of are. But in your case, people are like, well, geez, I don't want to be that pushy. You're not. Even without sales, if you put sales completely out of the picture, you're still, all those things you're doing for them to create all those senses is giving them a really good experience with you. Whether it's sales or not, which is going to help your sales, but you're giving them a good experience.
Yes.
Without even selling.
Disney is a great example. Real quick story, and then we'll wrap this up. So I saw a story where a gentleman who worked for Disney for a number of years, the very first day, big training session, there's 300 people in the room. And one of the trainers said, okay, I want everybody who's part of the custodial staff to please stand up. You know, they had people that were part of the greeters, people that were characters, people, all the different jobs that you find at Disneyland or Disney World. So there were maybe like 20 people who stood up were in the custodial staff. And the woman said again, I don't think everybody heard me. I want everybody who's on the custodial staff to please stand up. And everybody's kind of looking around going, well, you know, I'm part of, you know, concessions, you know. She said, everybody should be standing.
Standing right now. Yep.
Because it's everybody's job to keep these parks pristine and clean. Yep. So if you see trash, pick it up and throw it away, because part of the Disney brand is we have the cleanest parks anywhere on Earth. And that's true. If you've been to Disney, how much trash do you see? None.
Not much.
And they went further and said when Walt Disney was alive, he would walk through Disneyland, and if he saw trash, he would pick it up. So it doesn't matter how high you are in the company, no job is beneath you.
That's
and
right.
The same thing with your business. No job is beneath you. Unless you hire somebody else to do it, and then that's their damn job.
Right now.
So there's your parting shots. All right, so how do you make sex in the driveway? Well, watch out for the gravel. It is
It's good advice.
Yes. Lay down a blanket. 1 ounce of peach schnapps, 1 ounce of blue curaçao, 2 ounces of vodka or white rum, and some Sprite. Now, I would make this differently. I would switch the schnapps out and add in lime juice, but whatever. Put crushed ice in a highball glass, pour in the ingredients in order, end it by topping off with Sprite. Stir and serve with a straw, and garnish with a lemon wheel if you are foofy. So, I want to thank Red Crow Creative for being a sponsor of the Photo Happy Hour. Again, remember, you can save $97 with the code Happy Hour on their Write Better Words course, I guess it's called. It's a course to help you write better words for your business, and go to writebetterwords.com. So, till next time, guys. Wait, gotta get my drink. Cheers to you.
Subscribe now or I'll send you a gift. I'll give you a hint. It's in my diaper and it's not a toaster. I'd like to stay and chat, but Lois has pudding, and I need to go make more gifts for non-subscribers.